Snow White and Santos.
No, it was pretty windy
Frozen.
yesterday at the stadium. Some of these balls were
Okay,
100
cause what?
miles an hour and just kind of petered out. Yeah, or it was like this morning coming in. I mean, it was cold, gusts up to 70 degrees, 70 miles per hour, and the wind was blowing like crazy. It reminds me of Peking duck. You know, that's how they cook Peking duck. You know that? With wind? Yeah, cold, dry air. Wow. Yeah, it's that's how they get that crispiness. It's just they just hang a duck outside days like this. Fascinating. Yeah, hang a duck outside before. And you know, Bill, you don't have Peking duck. What? No, I was just going to tell you that more than 34,000 Californians could lose their electricity this weekend as cold, facing gusty winds are increasing the potential for fire danger. Yeah, well, for those, yeah, true. I mean, we're talking about both Con Edison, Southern California Edison, as well as Pacific Gas and Electric. You live in, what utilities are SoCal Edison, and luckily I live in an area that never gets blacked out. Ever. Oh, well, you're lucky. I am lucky. I was going to buy a generator, but I don't need one. Well, I mean, I had a generator at home, and I've used it a bunch of times. Is it a smoky diesel generator? No. Yeah, I used to have a smoky diesel generator, and then I bought it from Costco, by the way. I replaced it with a Costco generator. Oh, wow. Yeah, Costco sells generators. Right? They sell caskets. This is online, and they sell generators. Wow. And I've used it several times. Matter of fact, I may have to go. There's one other house on my street that has a generator. And when power is gone out, it wasn't a rolling blackout, just a transformer blew down the street or something, and power was dead for a few hours. There's my house blazing with light. If that happens, I turn all the lights on in my house. Show off. And I just, of course, I just go door to door knocking on these dark houses and say, hey, take a look. Well, you might want to be careful. You could get shot. No, you know what I'm frightened of is people plugging in electrical cords to my outlets and just saying these cords down the street. Well, word to the wise, if you're going to plug into those electrical cord outlets, then you need to go to Home Depot and get a 100-foot long extension cord. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Southwest, more cancellations yesterday. Cancellations are going up there. And it is the Northwest Airlines. This is bad. And they keep on blaming the FAA. The FAA says, what are you talking about? We were fine. They said, oh, no, the FAA doesn't have enough people, and there were layoffs, and people didn't show up. Are you crazy? Yeah, I don't get it. They keep going up against the FAA, like you said. Who are we going to believe? I'm going to believe the FAA this time around. I tell you what, look at the evidence. Well, the FAA also controls the other airlines in the air. They didn't have that kind of problem. They sure didn't. So, okay, so it's clearly someone in the FAA in the control tower says, let's screw over Southwest. Well, apparently Southwest isn't the airline it used to be or the airline we thought it was. I mean, it's a big screw-up. You remember when it first started? Southwest was a tiny little airline. Yep. And then it bought PSA, which was the neatest airline, Pacific Southwest Airlines. I remember them. There was a local airline that was spectacular. I remember that the stewardesses, both male and female, would do their announcements with rapping, for example. Wow. I mean, jokes. I mean, just having a good time. They met federal, and they had wild outfits. So that went on to Southwest. Yeah, and then they bought it, and then it became a little more staid. And Southwest used to be the airline. It doesn't have the same panache as I really want to like it, but now with all the problems, I don't think I would fly it. Well, if you want to go out of Burbank, you basically have to fly Southwest. Well, I mean, you can still fly United. Alaska JetBlue has one flight to New York, I think, out of Burbank. But all the flights, if you want to go San Jose, San Francisco, Phoenix, etc., it's all out of Burbank to make it really convenient. Well, we had a small plane crash in San Diego County. It came down yesterday, and it hit a UPS truck and then smashed into some houses, and it killed the pilot and the UPS driver. It was crazy. I mean, it was a mess. There was debris all over the place. Yeah, usually you have these pilots that do everything to avert hitting a house. Yep. Oh yeah. And this one went augured right into two homes and the UPS truck. Yeah. It looks like he kind of tried to hit like a, I don't know, like a street or an intersection or something, but he didn't quite make it. I remember once a plane went down in Rancho Cucamonga. It was some sort of a twin-engine plane, and I guess one of the engines went out and caused the plane to veer and go straight down, and it hit a house, and it sliced between the garage and the main house, and that was it. And no one was hurt. No, except the pilot. Yeah, usually when these things come down, usually the people on the ground get injured but don't get killed. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, this one, of course, the NTSB is all over it. Let's take a break. Right. We'll come back, and we have some fire news coming right up. This is Kfi Am 640, and let's check in with Chris Little. All right, we were just talking about it. Federal investigators are working to figure out what caused that small plane to crash in a neighborhood in San Diego County. The California Department of Justice is investigating that oil spill off the coast of Orange County, and the LA School District has extended its deadline by a month for teachers and staff to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Coming up, we will check the 60 with the KFI of the Sky next. Low interest rates, and you've heard about low interest rates for years now, and they're going to go up at some point. But let me give you a formula. Low interest rates means there's equity in your house, and you can take the money out easily and cheaply. High interest rates, you pay off your home. So imagine this. You've got equity in your house, especially since values have exploded over the last couple of years. And now you're sitting on a pile of equity that does nothing for you. So imagine taking the money out of your home, getting a loan, and then using it to invest and actually getting a return. So instead of making nothing, you're making money. And that's what HMS Capital is all about. They will help you get that loan. I've done 2 of them. I'm in the middle of my 3rd one that I'm getting the paperwork. Why? Because I got tons of equity that does nothing. And HMS Capital is saying, why don't you just invest that money? They're razor-sharp interest rates. They're confident they'll earn your business. Matter of fact, Mark Tice, who runs the thing, says, go to another lender and fill out an application as well as my company. That's how confident he is. No appraisal or application fee. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital Funding is a DBA funding and finance payment and approving number 2427. HMS Capital is licensed under the Department of Finance and Professional Organization under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 4130360. Equal housing lender.
Staples Connect has innovative tech and tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Right now, Apple AirPods Pro are only $199. You save $50. Explore what's new at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Ends 10/16, limit 2 while supplies last. Staples Connect, the working and learning store.
Southern California weather from KFI. Sunny today, highs in the mid-60s at the beaches to the low 70s. Metro LA, the valleys, OC, and the IE. This report brought to you by Staples Stores. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We've got problems on the 60s.
Yeah, we're trying, that's for sure. Boy, this could make you late to listen up. It's a problem on the westbound 60 at Crossroads, which, if you're unfamiliar with this stretch in between the 57 and the 605, Crossroads is almost right at the 605. I've got a couple of lanes blocked. I'm looking at it right now. We got the left lane blocked. There's a tow truck there trying to get it over to the shoulder. Bottom line, it is really backed up solid, all lanes, all the way back through Azusa. Now, Gale, right alongside the freeway, will up a little bit. It'll actually lead you to an on-ramp right at 7th Street. That gets you through about maybe 75% of the backup. Valley's wide open. That's a little farther north. West 10 from 57 over the 605. Well, it's definitely slow coming through the Covinas, but at least all lanes are open. Now, the good news on this, if any, once you get past this problem, once you get through the 605, it's really a clear drive all the way over to the East LA Interstate. It's not too bad at all. South 605, still in pretty good shape if you're going to go that way once you get there. It's got a little south from Washington. South 14's been kind of in trouble all morning. There was a problem around Via Princesa, so just be heads up on that. I'll follow up on that for you. And the problem I mentioned, Topanga, a little bit north of PCH, doesn't seem to be too serious in the way of driving, but again, more on that coming up. So go away. Injured in an accident, visit superwoman.superlawyer.com. Jeff Baugh, KFI in the windy skies.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, Audible is the best place to listen for everything you're into, from comedy to motivation to the latest bestsellers. Find it all at Audible with audiobooks, exclusive Smaller-displacement.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Blackouts have become a regular part of life here in California. A loss of power to your home can threaten your health or your safety. A loss of power to your business means loss of revenue. Now, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, blackouts are a problem. The solution is Duffy Power. Duffy's stellar reputation comes from keeping Southern California homes and business operations running without interruption 24/7, 365. To protect your home or your business from the next power outage, go to DuffyPower.com, DuffyPower.com.
Most Californians live within 30 miles from an active fault, and earthquakes can happen anywhere and any time in the Golden State. So, do you know how to protect yourself when an earthquake strikes? Make sure your home, workplace, school, and community are planning to practice how to drop, cover, and hold on during the Great Shakeout. Get prepared and worry less. Join us for the Great Shakeout. This message is brought to you by StrengthenMyHouse.com. Shakeout Day is October 21st.
How are those Solar Max panels treating you?
I love it. I went with Solar Max years ago. I just wish I went sooner with all the money I saved.
Right now you can get from Solar Max Tesla 420 panels and power walls for $79.96 per month and zero down.
Dial pound 250 and say Solar Max, or go to SolarMaxTech.com. Monthly payment available on approved credit. See something number 9720 for you.
Looking for your next investment? Want to cash out of stock market risk and volatility? Here are 8 reasons to consider NRIA's proven real estate development fund. Monthly cash flow payouts of 10% annualized and bonuses to 21% targeted. We strategically locate in lower risk, high demand areas people are moving to. New construction is short on supply. Real estate affords diversification and safety from stock market risk and volatility. We have substantial property assets selling out every month supporting your investment. Our short and long-term strategy provides for steady returns today and major upside targets. Our buildings are socially responsible, environmentally friendly, and pandemic hardened. We are an industry leader with a 15-year proven track record. Hedge against inflation and receive steady cash flow. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Asthma, ear infections, and sudden infant death syndrome. This is how secondhand smoke can affect your baby. It can get into your apartment through vents, windows, and more. Learn how to protect your home at SmokefreeHomesLA.com. Brought to you by the LA County Department of Public Health.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated, and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone, but you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's California area attorneys. 1455 Crazy Road, Suite 500, San Diego, California, 92108. CordellCordell.com.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabits per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA-MCO.
Dollar Trees can't sell stuff for $1 anymore because of inflation. I thought that was just a gimmick. No, I think I was in a dollar store once. I think everything was $1.
Everything really was $1?
Sometimes it's just a bar of candy. What is it?
What is it, like old food?
Where do you go to shop for somebody you don't really like that much to give them $1 Christmas gift? What's the customer base like?
John and Ken, weekdays at 2.
You want to take a guess? This is up Walmart?
KFI.
And good morning, everybody. Bill Handel here on a Tuesday, October 12th. We continue on with Handel on the news on this very gusty, windy day. Chris Little, Wayne is out today, not feeling well, and me. And we have a fire in Southern California, actually Santa Barbara. And the 101 freeway is closed. It's the Alisal fire. And this thing, with these winds, it went from zero, virtually nothing, and then it's 2,000 acres.
Yeah, we got an update on it, Bill.
Oh,
It's,
please, yeah.
3,700 acres now, at least 3,700 acres.
This thing is going like crazy.
And it started yesterday at 2:30 in the afternoon. So,
You know, they can't even fight fires that are moving along as quickly as this is.
no, and of course, as you know, when it gets super windy, you can't get airborne out there either.
Right. So you just have to stay out of the way.
Yep.
And watch it. Firefighters become looky-loos.
Officials are going to provide more details on Gabby Petito's final autopsy report. They're going to talk about it, and then they're going to follow up with some question and answers. And I'm wondering what everybody is going to want to know, other than how she died.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, no one has many doubts about this. The thing is, this story is just kind of crazy. Every day we find something new. Have you seen, usually we get stories like this and they just somehow connect and they have links.
Right.
And you never know which one is going to connect, and all of a sudden, like anything going viral. How the hell do you know when you do a video go viral?
Yeah.
But this one has continued on longer than I would have expected. And you're the news guy. You've been covering this stuff for years. Do you feel the same way?
Well, yes and no, because this one has a bad guy who we're trying to find. So it's almost like a whodunit, and everybody's fascinated. Where is this guy, the alleged killer, Brian Laundrie? And so I think that stoked a lot of interest. And then, of course, people putting laundry baskets on, in the yard the other day, and just the whole thing, how she was living, Gabby was living an idyllic life one day, and then the next day it looked like she was in trouble, and then she winds up dead, and we can't find the guy.
Let me ask you something, and this says a lot about society, and I've pointed this out, and I got in a fair amount of trouble for doing that. One of the reasons, maybe a major reason that this thing has exploded in the news is she is blonde, blue-eyed, and extraordinarily good-looking.
I think that's what started it, Bill, but I think it's continued now because of the mystery involved.
Yeah. And then a lot of minority folks were really upset. We had some black families say, hey, my daughter disappeared about the same time. No one cares.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Do you not cover those stories? You cover all the stories?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, indigenous peoples, for example, boy, the number of young women off reservations who disappear is extraordinary.
Yeah, and a lot of times that has to do with let's say a news outlet just picks one up. We may not have seen, a disappearance of a minority person, but somebody made a big deal about this one, so it just kind of catches fire.
Yeah, and you don't know. LAUSD is extending its deadline for employees to be vaccinated, and now they have until Friday to get their first dose, and then until November 15th to receive both doses, and of course, the employees, teachers are all screaming, no, and you can't, a fair number are saying, no, we don't want to get vaccinated. The government is not going to tell us what to do.
Well, then the government will tell them to stay away from the school. Because they won't be able to work.
Yeah, and then you have lawsuits. And look at the companies. You have the pilots. There's a number of those police departments where you have a fair number of people. And those that do not want to get vaccinated are saying, you had better let us come to work without vaccinations because it's going to destroy the department.
We've got people in my family, 4 people in my family, half of us are vaccinated, the other half, one of them is teetering, the other is like, definitely no.
Yeah, why? Because it hasn't been tested, the government shouldn't tell you what to do?
Basically, and he listens to Joe Rogan.
Oh. Okay, does he have children?
Joe?
No, I know. You're right.
No. I've got a 30-year-old and a 24-year-old.
Okay,
Neither one of them are married, and neither one of them have kids.
Okay, and let me ask you, if they had kids, would they not let their kids go to school because of the vaccination? Because we forced to vaccinate children because you are?
That's a great question. I've not asked that question. I will ask it when I get home today.
Just curious. Polio and measles, mumps, rubella. You guys bought 10 vaccinations, and you have to have it. Otherwise, you're not going to school.
Well, I know. Hey, the California Department of Justice is investigating the oil spill off the coast of Huntington Beach, and they're trying to figure out, if the spill, what happened and what could have been done to prevent it. But is this normal that the Department of Justice looks at this stuff?
Yeah, in this case, because look at what happened. The issue here is Amplify Oil, the LE field, and the president is saying, oh no, we did everything we could. There's a 15-hour lag from the time it was first noticed to the time when the oil company actually did something about it. And the president just keeps on, just weird guy. Doesn't come off as very bright, at least in my perception. But he keeps on evading and obfuscating. Oh, no. Can't get an answer out of him.
Well, he's being coached.
Yeah, well, of course he is. By the PR firms, just don't say anything. But they have the timeline. Here is the timeline.
And these guys should always just get out in front of it.
Right.
And they don't. No. And it makes them look bad.
All right. And so the department, the DOJ of California is investigated. Todd Spitzer, Orange County DA, that's investigating. That agency's investigating. The feds are investigating. I mean, firstly, the Coast Guard is investigating. They've got plenty of investigations going.
I would like to investigate why it started out at 144,000 gallons as an estimate, and now it's down to 24,000.
And I don't know the answer to that. We're going to figure that out, too. Do you guess high end? Do you guess low end? It's like whenever there's a drug bust and 40 tons of marijuana is captured or confiscated, and the authorities immediately say, $800 million worth of marijuana is picked up. That's per joint is their figuring, and that's per small joint.
Yeah, and it's always an estimation. In this case, I'd like to see somebody go to bad guesser's court.
Yeah, good point. Let's take a break. We'll come back and more handle on the news. In the meantime, there's Chris Little.
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused a light plane crash that killed at least 2 people near San Diego. ABC's Mona Toser Abdi says the plane crashed into 2 homes and a UPS truck yesterday.
UPS confirming one of its drivers was killed. Neighbors say he made deliveries to their home for years. Also killed, an Arizona cardiologist. The Yuma Regional Medical Center saying Dr. Sugata Das owned the plane.
The crash happened in the Santee, just east of San Diego. News brought to you by American Vision Windows. Strong winds have knocked a large tree onto an SUV in Van Nuys that had a family inside. The mom, who was driving the SUV, tells NBC4 her 2 young sons were in the back seat when the tree fell over.
I was driving when I looked up and I saw a big branch in the sky coming down, and at that point I just put the brakes on.
The woman says she and her kids were not hurt when the tree came down yesterday afternoon. A bear spotted up a tree in Pasadena has been tranquilized and treated in protective care. The adult female bear was in the tree in somebody's backyard yesterday. The Department of Fish and Wildlife was called. Shot the bear with a tranquilizer before checking that it was okay, and then taking it to the Angeles National Forest way out there where the bear was released. A gun fire in Santa Barbara has forced people to leave their homes, and lead has led to the closure of the 101 in both directions. The fire started yesterday afternoon near the Aliso Reservoir to the north of Santa Barbara. Strong winds have caused it to jump the freeway. The fire has burned about 2,000 acres and is 0% contained. As a matter of fact, we have an update on it, that fire has burned about 3,700 acres. A man accused of killing 10 people in a grocery store in Colorado has been found not competent to stand trial. The shooting in March happened at a King Soopers market in Boulder. Prosecutors had asked for a second court-ordered evaluation yesterday, and the judge agreed. Traffic from your help for Southern California